Gratitude family. Just dropping in, we're popping up just to talk a little bit about how we look forward, what looking forward looks like. You can see us on YouTube, Facebook, and wherever podcasts are. We have some phenomenal guests coming on over the next couple of weeks to talk about reentry, to talk about building a business, to talk about how to get legit money, to talk about changing the game, to talk about looking forward, to talk about different narratives as it impacts us in Trenton. Get ready. You're going to get it raw and you're going to get it here. I want to wrap up a little bit from last week with my guest, Atalia Armstrong, where we simply talked about, some of the things that matter. And in doing that, one of the things I want to make abundantly clear is I don't care how smart you think you are. If you don't understand your role in your family, with your friends, in politics, especially in politics, here in the city, and obviously there's some misunderstanding with our city council about what their role is. It is simply to represent the best interests of the city and its constituency base. The city council does not run the city. I want to make that abundantly clear. And if they stand in the way of the person responsible for running the city, and that's the mayor, they create a huge disruption, with which they've done. So it doesn't matter what they do over the next 6 months, it's what they've done for the past 3.5 years. Get up on that and stay up on that. That's important. But in looking forward, we want to look forward and understand that if we don't change the narrative, nobody else will. Stop posting about all the violence in Trenton and start posting about some of the good stuff in Trenton. Start working with people. I say it before and I'll say it again and again and again. If you're getting it done and you're not sharing how to get it done and you're not sharing some of your gifts with others, all you're doing is posing and boasting. Share your gifts. Pull a brother or a sister up, no matter what color they are. They're in the city of Trenton, pull them up. Work together. Practice some solidarity. Before we can change anything that we're doing, we have to know where we've been and what we want. We want to blame everything on everybody else. It's time for us to have some accountability for what's happening in this city. The largest group of influencers in this city is not an elected official. It is the people who live here. Please understand that and get that. We have some phenomenal guests that are going to be coming on. I just want to pop up tonight because Tuesday is a pop up where we're going to talk a little bit about Trenton and some other things and what we can do to bring our city back or to advance our city forward in what we need. The city of Trenton and the residents in it have to be working. You cannot blame folks not working on any elected official. You have to have a high school diploma or some type of trade to be able to fully take care of yourself. Now, what our elected officials are responsible for is ensuring that some of the programs that we need to advance our city, especially with reentry, and shout out to Shahid up in Newark, and shout out to Tracy Syfax for the work they're doing with reentry. Shahid has agreed to come on and talk about that, and hopefully, our own homegrown uh, entrepreneur and businessman Tracy Syfax will join him. The invitation will be extended. It has been from this podcast, but it will personally be extended to ensure that he has that opportunity to join us in that podcast and offer his experience, strength, and hope regarding reentry. But see, all of this requires a partnership. Hey, stop fighting with each other. Sit down, take the green out of your eyes. Stop hating on people. Stop being the biggest fan club without knowing folk and let's get it done. Solidarity can turn this around. Will we be perfect? Absolutely not. Personalities think ships, and we have to learn to deal with that as well. But I want to be sure that we're on the same page on Tuesdays. What's news with you? That when you hit this podcast and the opportunity is available for you, that you're talking about things we can do to help turn it around as a team. What does my vision bucket list look like? Thanks, Josh, for the question. The biggest vision for me is to ensure economic wealth for my legacy, to ensure that my legacies understand more every day what that means. That's number one. Number two is to ensure that I'm doing my part as a Trenton resident to mentor and coach to the best of my ability from my experience, strength, and hope. And see, here's where my experience comes in at. I don't know everything, but on my bucket list, having been an executive, having worked in social services forever, having taught second grade and run because I was scared. And kudos to all the teachers out there. I couldn't handle it, but I love kids. My bucket list wants to be sure that people understand when we elect folks to represent us, we must hold them accountable and get up out of this friendship and I like them because they're black, or I like them, or I don't like them because they're pink, or I don't like them because listen, all of that is nonsense. My bucket list includes ensuring that people know or they have a place where they can come, which is What's News with You, to find out how to get some of the help that they need to be better at living and working in their community. So the economic legacy and wealth of my family, number one, and to ensure that everybody has a fair shot to work at it, to at least offer the opportunity. See, there's that bunch that wants to grab everything, but everything in this city belongs to everybody, and we all deserve a piece of it. And while I'm at it, one of the controversial issues that became a huge fight, and with respect to everybody in their opinion, Cadwalder Park. That park is open. And misrepresenting it as being closed is a disservice to the constituency. It is closed to cars. It is not closed to pedestrians and folk who want to use the park. And so, I've talked about that. I've had the opportunity to engage in some social conversation about that through social media. But my bucket list, before I leave here, I want to be sure that people in Trenton, because that's where I made my bones. I'm homegrown. It's where I come from, born and bred, and I'm a proud Trentonian. I want to be sure that folks understand that there are some rights that you have, but the first right is to take care of yourself and to ensure that you go where your help is, and to ensure that we learn to take people exactly where they are and guide them gently to what they need, whether it's training, employment, recovery, just a host of things. The prisons, they incarcerate our population, inner cities, at such a large number, and then want to dump them back into the community with nothing. And again, my shout out is to Tracy Syfax and Shahid, Trenton and North, coming together, hopefully, to have some conversation about what reentry looks like. Those are the things that are on my bucket list. This is me. This is my bucket list as a citizen and a resident of the city of Trenton. That's what it's about. And for the record, I'm not running for anything. That day has gone. It is past. Whatever it was, it was. But my experience comes in, and having been an executive, having been an elected official, having been a party boss here in the city of Trenton, I know some things. I don't know everything. And that's why partnership and solidarity is so important. When we go to elect our next city council. Let's be sure that those running for city council understand what the role of city council is. You don't always have to get along with folk. God knows I didn't get along with many. But the bottom line is this: do your job. City council has a job to do it. That's it. Does that answer the question, Josh? What my vision board looks like, my vision bucket? There's so much in my bucket. It's incredible. But the biggest part of it is that the city of Trenton and the residents in it have an opportunity to know where to go and get their help. That's simple enough. I want to thank you for joining us. This is a short pop-up podcast. If you'd like to come on live, just let us know. We'll bring you in right from the feed when we start the live stream. And whatever the topic is, jump in and kick it with us. Hey, this is What's News for You. My name is Annette Latigue. I'm your host here. This podcast on Tuesday is to give folks an opportunity to participate in their cities and to understand what it means and what it looks like to be a part of helping our city move forward. Again, thank you. I'm looking forward to the Girlfriend Circle. That's another pop up. We have a wonderful trip planned to go to a Kentucky Derby type party. So, girlfriends will be reaching out for that. I'll see you again soon. Hey, Josh, thanks for joining me. And for those of you who will pick up later, come back and see us again because we've got something to tell you. And we're going to have some phenomenal speakers. If you want to come on the podcast live, reach out and let us know. Bring it to the podcast, baby. You have the mic. Good night.